Awesome, friends! Welcome to the Joy of Stamping with Rachel. I'm Rachael Coon, and it's our Wednesday's kit class. Today, I'll be showing you some extra cards to make after your paper pumpkin kit is all gone, and all you have left are inks and your stamps. I'm gonna hold while I flip, and we'll get started. All right. You guys can see everything okay. We'll put it all in view a little bit better. There we go. Welcome to our class today. Feel free to leave a comment during the live replay or even on YouTube. I'd love to hear from you guys. Today is my daughter's birthday, and we just got back from the beach. So I apologize if you hear the showers are going and kids running around, and you just saw me a second ago. I was still in my beach gear, so I apologize for all of that. But I'm super excited to show you our cards that we're making today and to tell you a little bit more about how the Wednesday's kit class works and Paper Pumpkin. So our Wednesday's kit class, every Wednesday of the month, I try to create a class for you guys where you learn how to make these cards, and then or projects. Sometimes I do a 3D item or tags. And then if you order between Wednesday and Friday of that week, you can, with the hostess code, at least $35 worth, then you get the paper products and like little extras for each card for free from me. It's a great way to play with different things that you might not actually have in your craft room yet, and to already know how to make them. And then secondly, the last Wednesday of the month, I've been trying to make extras using the Paper Pumpkin Kit stamp set. So let me show you what the Paper Pumpkin Kit was for this month. This is what the box looks like. It comes like this each month, my subscription. And then inside, we have the kit itself. And I have to confess, I have not gotten this one made yet. See, this is how it comes, all ready for me to do, and the instructions are on here. And I can make these 3 different cards. And there's lots of variations of different ways you can even make these cards as well. But what I like to focus on is using the stamp set that comes with it, and something that you can reuse over and over again. So let me kind of show you what the stamp set looked like. I have a lot of them off on blocks. So it came with this cool tree, these little, I want to say these are butterflies, a couple of great greetings. These little spots here, I'm not quite sure yet. I think they're part, maybe for the trees. I don't know. I haven't used the kit yet, so I'm not sure what those ones are. So if you know it, let me know. And then just some more great sayings. This is a great outdoorsy one. And so I decided to pair it with DSP that is on sale right now as well, called Beauty of the Earth DSP. And that's where we're using or finding these tree images, these branches, these fun shades here, and even these blue trees. I thought it was a great way to show you guys different layouts a little bit, play with these awesome embossing folders, and use the sayings from our stamp set. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Let me set these ones aside, and we will do this one first. It says, "Let your light shine." I love this saying. Such a great saying. And with the kit, it came with a cute little lantern as well. So kind of a play on words there for letting your light shine. For this one, I have it more with like clouds or in the sky, and having that light be maybe more of the sun, and just to have it a little bit more airy feeling. Super easy as well. Let's grab those products here. I will have a blog link later on, either in the comments below on the Facebook Live or in the description below for the YouTube, of all the measurements I'm using for today's cards. So if I miss saying them or I say them wrong, you can find them on there correctly. Also, all the list of supplies and suggested items if you want to make this kit over and over again and you want to buy the things to make it as well. All right, so this is a beautiful paper. Doesn't that look kind of cloudy to you? Like the nice kind of clouds, not the scary clouds. On the other side is the leaf pattern. So I chose to have it cloud side this way and leaf this way, but I always could flip it over if I wanted to as well. You always have 2 choices when you're using the DSP. Let's go ahead and glue this down. This liquid glue is on the very tail end of it. So if I run out, I'll just snag another one. I do have to show you. I think I showed you before. I have a cool little glue holder. So I just stick it in there and it helps me keep it upside down so that my glue is always ready for me. Because you never know when you want to glue something, right? Never. All right, there we go. So that's easy on. Now what we need to do is attach these pieces here. So I like to save paper. It's not about saving the world, although that is great as well, or recycling, but I'm very just frugal and I don't want to be wasteful. And for whatever reason you may want to not waste, you can use this tip here, where I'm going to put just a little bit of liquid glue on each of these ends. And instead of using a whole piece of this basic white, I'm creating the border just along the top and bottom. It's a great way to save and add just a little bit of extra detail. And because I use a liquid glue, I can wiggle it and make it the size I want. So as big as a border as you want or as small as you want. It's totally up to you. There we go. Let's grab the other one and just slide it on as well. Just like so. And you want to try and make your top and bottom border about the same distance. But it's all just about eyeballing and just shifting it around a little bit. Like that. Okay, perfect. Now we'll add some liquid glue to the back of this. And we'll put this about center. And I have this the full length of this card base here. So that's a 5.5, so it goes past where our DSP hits. So you can see that okay. And if you want to make sure that it's straight, you can use a grid paper. And I can look and line this one up to this line here and this line here. I feel like it's a little bit crooked, so I'm just going to move it up just a little bit. Let's see if we can look at that. And this is why I love the liquid glue. So when I'm not perfect, I have a second chance. Awesome. That looks better. Okay, let's go ahead and get our stamping in. I just have my foam mat and another piece of grid sheet right here. I'm using the Mossy Meadow. And let's grab the same Glitter Light Shine. This is a label from the Tasteful Texture labels, or dyes, I believe. It's one of my favorite ones. And let me grab my Sane, the Glitter Light Shine, and we'll ink that up. Go just about center for that one. Perfect. Okay, let's leave our ink out for a hot minute and we're going to grab our cute little tiny butterflies. And you see that we have two of them, one smaller than the other, but both have that very similar look where it has a colored in bottom or a colored in top. So what I'm going to do here is just kind of put one at an angle going this way. And then we're going to put another one down here below. And then we'll do another little one going just the opposite angle a little bit above. There's that one. And we'll throw him down here too. These are just a fun way to embellish a little bit, but with not too much bulk. And I love that stamping on the DSP. It's a great look. Okay, let's put that ink away. And let's add some dimensionals to the back of our Sane. Let's grab, I had some in here. There we go. See if I can get it to focus. There we go. Sometimes it goes out of focus, so if I wait for a second, it's because I'm just trying to fix that. All right. Take off the backings of those and we'll flip it over. Two of my card designs today are very similar to each other, and I'll show you just what the slight differences may be. So it just depends where you want to set that. I'm going to put mine right about there. And then we'll grab some white twine and make a bow. And you want to get it kind of loopy so we have some wiggle room to play with, and then we can make it the size we want. So look how crazy that bow is right now. That's okay. We hold on to the knot and we just kind of pull and play. Pull on each side, and then we pull on the loops as well. Then I like to take my strings down together and cut them off at the same spot. There we go. Next, we just need to add that with a glue dot. I put in a knot to the dot. And then stick it here in this corner. Super cute. Lastly, we just want to embellish just a little bit. And I've been using my favorite champagne rhinestones. Just has kind of like an amber color to it a little bit. Almost gold, but not quite. And we'll just add one to the corner of our seam here. We can even have another one going at an angle just a little bit above that and on the DSP to offset it there. And we can even throw one down below as well. They kind of get lost in this paper here, and it's only when you move it around that you can see that sparkle. All right, let's go and grab our bone folder, and we can finish off this card and show you how it turned out. Let your light shine this awesome looking DSP. It's not so bright and pretty, and that paper just looks like beautiful clouds there. Love it. All right, let's set those aside and let's do our next one. So our next one is using an embossing folder that is pretty awesome. It's called the Evergreen Forest Embossing Folder. And your kit will have this already ready for you. But I have to tell you a confession. When I made this one, I switched out the card base that I originally wanted. So I'm going to switch it back, kind of show you the idea of how I wanted it to look, and then you kind of see how you can change it up though. You'll get both these pieces and you can decide which card base you want to use for it. All right, so we have these pieces here, and this is an awesome piece of the DSP that's just kind of like lines and lines of trees, and it comes with multiple ones. Let me grab that piece for you real quick so you can see what it looks like as that 12 by 12. Sorry, it was behind me. Got it. So I've cut off a little bit of this piece here, but you can see there's just rows among rows of these trees, which are pretty awesome and can make lots of cards with. And this is about the size of the strip that you'll need. I think it's 1.25 inches if I remember right. This paper is so pretty though, and I didn't even get to use hardly any of it. And I can make so much more already still. Like I said, that one's on sale until the end of the month, which is coming really soon. So if you like this paper, be sure to grab it while you can save 15%. I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of the liquid glue on the back of this DSP, and I've created a mat using that mossy meadow. And we're just going to have it surround all of our ends of our paper here. Awesome. Let that dry. And here's that embossing folder I was telling you about, that Evergreen Forest. Isn't that beautiful? And just look at that texture. The way that it embosses, that dry emboss, it looks like these trees are closer than these trees back here. I just think that is just so amazing. Okay, but we will need to add liquid glue for it because it is pretty bumpy. Like I said, this one's running out. Let me flip it again and grab my other guy. This guy's completely full. He is brand new. Okay. There we go. And we'll flip this one over and just create that border along all ends as well. Kind of like that. Smooth it out. Grab a clear block if you need it to lay flat. The ends right here, we might add extra glue to because of it being raised, it's harder for it to attach. Okay, so you have a couple choices with this one. Let me find all the pieces maybe. Where I had another size, maybe I've lost it. Oh, if not, then no worries. I had die cut another one of these, but in a smaller shape. And it was smaller, so that way you can use the smaller words as well. I did a bigger phrase for this one. Here it is. So I did congrats. Let me see if I can get that one. There we go. And all I did was just change the size of my rectangle. If you wanted a larger saying, you just make it into the bigger rectangle, or the smaller green, use that smaller one. We're going to go ahead and just use this one today since it's already ready for us. Let's go ahead and turn this around, and let's grab our dimensionals to attach these. For this one, you want at least 4. You can either do 4 in each corner or just a row. I'm going to just do a row for this one. I wonder how many cards I can make with this style though, because there's just so many of those rows of trees there. I bet I can make at least 12. Hey Phyllis, glad you're here. Yeah, she said she loves the tree border. I think that's such a great idea. And whoever made this paper, the artist that designed it, was genius, I think. All right, so now we have a small little congrats, and we want to add that. You can either glue this on slightly or put dimensionals on the top of this one. I'm going to put just a couple dimensionals on the top, and I'm using the minis here. Just so that way it's going to be more level. So I want that bottom to overlap the DSP right here. Congrats. Sorry, that back of that dimensional is just getting stuck there. I find those guys everywhere in my house. In fact, if my dog finds them, she likes to eat them. That's how fun those dimensional backings are. All right, so we just need to add a cute little rhinestone here. And this one, you can even add it to the actual congrats. And that would be fun as well. Make sure that got on. There we go. And there should be a basic white for this one. Let me see if I can find it. And we can stamp on the inside. So let me show you what I did for this one. I have a really awesome tree that came with this set. And I thought it was fun to do like a border for the inside of it as well. Let me grab a basic white. We'll steal this one. I'm not sure if this is part of this, guys, but we'll take it anyway. And we can always cut more basic white if we need. I just ran out and got my basic white back in stock. Who runs out of white paper? I do. It's crazy. All right, so I'm using the Mossy Meadow, and what we want to do is just to ink up this tree, and we're going to put it on each end, but not all the way. We want to make it look like half a tree. So ink that up really good. And then you want it to be lower on the bottom, so that way you don't see where the tree trunk starts or ends. Let's make sure you guys can see that. Let me scoot that up a little bit. And then we want to have at least the top of the tree on there as well. And then just press down. Awesome. Let's do another one for the other side. Have it go all the way down to that. Oh, look, you can tell I didn't ink it very well. And I love that about these stamps because I can see right through them. That looks better. Okay, so go a little bit lower of the white line and then press down. Perfect. Look how awesome that looks. Just kind of that cool tree border there. Let's go ahead and glue that to the inside. And I like to use my Seal Plus when I have these little pieces of basic white. If I'm lazy, I'll use my liquid glue. But if I'm trying to be fancy and nice, I'll use that seal because I think it just looks cleaner on it. You don't see any glue lines with it. And it adheres really nicely. All right. So there we go. 2 different backgrounds. You have to let me know if you like it better with the gray granite on gray granite base, card base, or if you like it better the gray granite with the Mossy Meadow. Either one looks awesome, and then the choice is yours when you get your kit. All right, let's go on to the next one. And like I said, this one is very similar to each other. I'll do the simple one first. Let me grab that one out. It's right here. I've used the bark embossing folder, which I thought was perfect with trees, had to have a bark embossing folder. And then I just have this beautiful piece of DSP that has that awesome looking tree line there. And then we just have used a mat to have that pop of color show, and kept it very simple with just a little bow and our little label. Let me go ahead and set this over here. See, this is where that Mossy Meadow base had went to. And then this one I had stamped in the inside. Let me see if you can see that. With the Mossy Meadow ink. And then I had that filler one to make those little texture. And I used the exact same color. It's very subtle, but I kind of like it that way. I'll show you another way in a little bit to do it less, to make it more obvious that it's been stamped as well. Okay, let's go ahead and attach these and stamp what we need to do. This one I have matted at a smaller size. So you can go, your matting can be 1/4 or 1/8 of a size bigger than your DSP. For example, this one is a 4x3 piece of DSP, and this matting is 1/8 bigger. So I have it 4 1/8 and 3 1/8. And that gives just this tiny little border here. You see that? Very, very little. The other one we have is the opposite way. It is not opposite, just different, just a little bigger. I have it the 4 1/4 and 3 1/4. And get this all glued down. I'll flip it and stick that on. I can't tell you how amazing this embossing folder is. Just look at all this texture. And it honestly looks like tree bark. Like if I were to go out to a tree right now, I think it looks more barky if I have it this way. But it still works going this horizontal way as well. I just thought it was more appealing to the eye to have it going that way. Go ahead and grab dimensionals and put that on the back of our piece here. And let's take off those backings. The label that I'm using is from that same dies I said earlier. I think it's the Tasteful Texture label dies that match a stamp set really well, but I also use it for many, many things. All right, so I centered this one, and let's go ahead and grab our same and our label, maybe. There we go. And let's stamp that on there. So I use the Let the Adventure Begin, but I think also the Dream Big, oh, that one doesn't fit quite unless I do like an angle. That one would fit, and that one does not fit. You could also do the Let Your Light Shine on this one if you wanted to. And let me find the stamp set again. Maybe. There's the Enjoy and Congrats, I think, as well, that you can use for this size. We'll go ahead and stick with the Let the Adventure Begin. That's a fun one for anyone who has graduated or starting a new job, or even someone who's retiring. That's a whole new adventure when you're retiring from your profession. Let me make sure that's inked up well. And stamp that right on there with that Mossy Meadow. Perfect. Love that. Let's go ahead and close this up. And then we just need to attach it with dimensionals to the back of our paper here. However, to worry about the begin is, where the begin begins, do not put dimensionals on that side. So we'll flip it over. Remember, our begin's on this side. And we're just going to have them 2 right there. Because we want this edge to be just floating. Our begin to be floating over just a little bit like that. Super cute. All right, now we just need to make a bow. And wonderfully enough, the Essentials Baker's Twine has it in different colors. So I actually have that gray granite twine now, and I can make a bow that matches perfectly. White would always work as well if you don't have any other color. But that's one of my favorite things of Stampin' Up! Is that they coordinate their colors so well. So I don't have to do any of the thinking and just know, hey, this color is the same color that I used on my paper. The same color as my ink, same color as my markers. It all coordinates just perfectly. All right, let me grab my glue dots. There we go. We'll add that to our bow and press down. Just put that right there in the center. This one, I didn't even add a rhinestone to. I kept it really just simple. Super simple. Go ahead and use our bone folder. And let's grab, oh, I found my other basic white, so we can go ahead and finish the inside of this one. Let me show you how to stamp this one real quick, since we found it. Okay, so that's just our regular basic white, our 4 by 5 1/4. And what we're going to do is that same tree that we just made earlier. Let me go ahead and ink it up. And I'm going to do it full on ink. Let me grab a wipe real quick because it's gotten a little messy there. And I don't want to transfer that on. So I just take it and wipe it off clean. And in fact, we're going to go ahead and wipe this whole thing clean real quick. And then for sometimes to help it to dry that, I'll just go on my grid paper and kind of tap off the extra wet on there. All right, Mossy Meadow, full on. Oh, look at me. Good thing we still have our wipe right there. There we go. And I'm going to go just, again, a little bit below the paper, so that way the tree looks like it's growing from the bottom. And then we're going to grab this awesome texture piece here. If you're just to look at that, you'd have no idea what that was for. But because it came with the tree, we know that these are the cool little extra, to make it like a pine tree, these needles here. And we're just going to line it up and ink it on there. Oh my goodness. So look how pretty that looks. Wouldn't that be a perfect Christmas tree too? That sounds like another great way to use this ink and this stamp as well. Fun Christmas tree. All right, let's go ahead and attach that to the inside of our base here. And again, I like to use my seal. And if you don't want to use a lot, you can get away with just a little by just putting a little bit in each of your corners. See that? If you want it to be more secure, you're welcome to run it along the whole line of it. It's totally up to you. And a lot of times it depends on where you live. If you live in a humid area, you actually might want to use some more adhesive, because that moisture in the air will make it separate a lot easier, and you want that extra backup support there. There we go. 2 super simple cards using that beautiful DSP. And you can kind of see the difference between the card base, the Mossy Meadow, and the Gray Granite. And I just love the way that tree looks like in the inside. Just like finishes it, right? From the tree to the tree. I love it. All right, last one. Thank you for hanging in there. This is our last one for the day. And this has these blue trees. This one definitely reminds me of a Christmas type of look, and just more of a colder weather type of tree. And I kept it very, very in the blue family. I've used Night of Navy and Misty Moonlight for our colors here. The exact same layout and dimensions, from the last card we just had out though. So here are our pieces. The only difference is this one I've matted to be wider. That's a 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. Let's go ahead and glue those together. Oh, look at the pretty side of this one. The flip of this side is so pretty. Both of them are. And I love like these little splotches here. There we go. I really try to use up as much as my liquid glue as I can. So I keep on just flipping it upside down. Don't want to waste things, do we? No. All right. I kept a window open, so you might be able to hear the 4:30 song here at my housing unit. Just kind of some nice background noise, right? All right. So this is just going to be our underneath piece for today. It's super easy. This one we'll go ahead and glue on Use that same bark embossing folder. Just like that. And if you wanted to change the direction of this card and you wanted it to be not horizontal but more vertical, you would just make sure you cut your paper differently. I was mindful to cut my paper first at the 3-inch, so that way the trees were going along this way. And then, but if you wanted it to be like that, just make sure you cut your paper differently first. All right, let's go ahead and add this on with dimensionals, and then we'll do some stamping. Oh, Vivi says the blue is her favorite. Isn't that so fun? It's just a little bit different, and it makes it that much more beautiful. I think that's true to most things. When things are different, you find the beauty in them. This one, I'm not going to center. I'm going to go more to the right for that one. And then let's go ahead and attach this with just some liquid glue. And we'll put that right here. Awesome. All right, grab our white linen, breaker's twine, and we'll get that one ready here in just a second. Let's go ahead and do our stamping first. So I would give you a piece of Misty Moonlight and 1/2 inch by about 4 inches, but I just kept it long so you guys can see. I just use scraps, literally. These are ends of pieces that I don't throw away and I save for things just like this. Grabbing my mossy, I keep calling this Mossy Meadow. Both of our stamp colors start with the M today. So this is Mossy Meadow, this is Misty Moonlight. Whew, tongue twister. The world awaits you. This is another great saying for someone who's graduated, retirement, you name it. We're going to stamp that. Perfect. If you wanted to make sure you have about 4 inches, you can use your grid paper and cut it off right there. And then we just need to flag our ends. Try to clean up our work area a little bit so it's not so busy. Okay, if you haven't seen me do this before, it's really easy. You just go to the center, and then we're going to cut from corner to the center and corner to the center. I do have a punch that does this for me, but if you don't, this is a great trick to know, so that way you can make these fun flagged ends. Again, just do that center first, center cut, and then cut it from corner to the center and corner to the center. Perfect. Okay, add some dimensionals to the back of this one. And because it's a 1/2 inch, you can get away with using the bigger ones. We're going to go about 3 of these ones right there. Okay. So now we just need to add that messy twine look. What I like to do is take it and wrap it around about 3 fingers, and you can count maybe 4 or 5 times, just depends on how loopy you want it or how much twine you have. Then what I'm going to do is put a little bit of the seal right here. Let's see if I can get it to go, It's uneven, so it's hard for it to roll on. There we go. And I'm going to make kind of like a figure 8 by just pinching it together and setting it right there on that adhesive. That's going to help hold it for me. And then when we have these dimensionals over it, it's going to help it hold it even more. Just like that. The world awaits you. Perfect. And you can play with that messiness if you want. You can make it so it's trimmed down however you like it. We do want to add those rhinestones. If I haven't lost them yet, there we go. I wish I could like span out my camera so you can kind of see how crazy and messy I stamp. I'm not a clean stamper. I make all the messes every day, and usually it's on my hands. The hard part is wanting to clean up after I play. Kind of like a child that way. We just want to play all the time and not have to clean it, right? But it is nicer when you have a nice clean workspace and you can find things with ease. All right, we're almost done with this one. We just want to stamp another piece in our basic white for our inside. Let me grab my bone folder. And what we want to do for this one is stamp it in that same blue color that we're using. However, my tree's a little messy, so I'm going to go ahead and wipe it clean. Just get that green off from earlier. And then we're going to make sure it's dry. It's pretty good. We are going to ink this up. And then we're going to stamp it on a scrap piece of paper. And let's see, I have this one, I think, yes, on the bottom right. And we'll just go over here to our basic white and press it down. And it gives it a lighter color by when we're stamping off like that. And allows us to have two shades. Let's grab our pine needles. We wipe that down again too, make sure it's good. Tap it dry and ink it up. This one we're not going to stamp off. This one's going to be full on strength and that beautiful blue. Oh, I love it. This would be another great Christmas tree, a blue tree, like a blue spruce kind of look to it. So much fun. All right, let's flip it. We'll add our seal. Remove my foam. It's easier to use adhesive on a hard surface than it is on a foam surface, just in case you're struggling. There we go. And we'll grab our card back in and glue this on. Just like that. Oh my goodness. I just love that finished look, right? Like the inside of a card. I think that makes a world of difference. And the world awaits for you. Oh, you'll have to let me know which one's your favorite. I love that blue one. Here's another layout, very similar, but just using the green paper instead for the Earth Dsp for our tree background. And then we have the border of our trees there, using the embossing folder with the evergreen forest for the background for this one, which is just gorgeous. And then our first one we made was in the clouds, and we have the Let Your Light Shine. Love it. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've learned something new and how to use your stamps from Paper Pumpkin after your kit is gone. If you haven't subscribed yet to Paper Pumpkin, please do. I think you'll really enjoy it, especially next month. Let me show you what it's going to be about a little bit. The co-founder, Shelly, that's her right here. She has created an awesome box called the Hope Box, where you can put things in there that make you happy and bring hope to you. And so after you make your cards, feel free to use that box, and you can either keep your Hope Box for yourself or give it to someone else. All right, you guys, have a wonderful week and a happy stamping, everyone. Goodbye.